It is another beautiful day in Costa Rica. But truth be known, whenever I decided to come to Costa Rica, I made a very big mistake. I didn't do any kind of research, and I've learned now, and I've always known, there's really basically two ways to learn things. You can learn from your own mistakes, or you can learn from the mistakes of others. Well, I learned from my own mistakes, but that cost me a small fortune. So today I kind of want to talk about what are some of the best ways to discover, to learn about living in Costa Rica. Is it a combination of the two, or is it something entirely different? Let's find out. Welcome back to the Off-Grid Homestead right here in Costa Rica, where Rebecca and I are building our dream paradise, where we can enjoy our slice of paradise. But hey, that's what we're talking about today, how you can enjoy your slice of paradise. One of the things you can do to really enjoy or really discover everything you need to know about Costa Rica. Like I said in my intro, well, basically there's two ways to learn Costa Rica. You can do it the hard way. That's what I did. Or you can learn the easy way, and that's what I hope you do. Hey, if you've been watching my channel, I'm a Marine. Sometimes Marine and sometimes A-type personalities think, I don't need no help, I can do it on my own. And well, I can do it on my own, and I did, but they were some extremely costly mistakes. I also want to get some feedback from you. And of course, if you've been watching my channel, I just came back from a week-long, exciting, awesome, memorable Costa Rican relocation event, an event that I put on with a couple of other co-hosts, Michael, Allen, and Sarah Elena. So before I get started talking about, the best way that you can learn and discover everything that you need to know about Costa Rica, let me tell you where I'm at, because it looks like I'm sitting in the middle of the jungle, and, well, I practically am. I'm building my tiny house, which is just right there, but this is a little garden that I set up for Rebecca. So when she's sitting in her office after we get moved in, because we're not moved in yet, but anyway, she can look out her office window and see this beautiful garden that I've created for her and planted all these natural plants down here, flowering and beautiful. She can look up, see the monkeys right there, the hummingbirds that come just right here in the garden. So anyway, that's where we're at. So let's go ahead and get on it. But before I get started, remember I said I have some new dates for the Costa Rica Relocation Event, and it's going to be happening October 3rd through October 9th, okay? So that's on a Sunday to Saturday. You'll come in, we'll pick you up over at the airport. Wait, Big Al. The next Costa Rica Relocation Event is not October. We just got finished with that one. The next event's going to be March 3rd to March 9th. I don't know what Big Al would do without me. Go to the description below, click on the link, go ahead and reserve your seat. Lots and lots of people have been asking, Alan, when's the next dates? I'm ready. I want to plan. I want to go ahead and get my ticket. They want to save their ticket because they're selling out quick. This last one was our biggest, and it's getting bigger and better each time. But while I'm talking about that, something that Rebecca and I do whenever you purchase your ticket for the event through my link, that's on my YouTube channel, is our way of saying thank you, is we like to give you a 1 hour free consultation, one-on-one, where Rebecca and I sit down with you. We share with you whatever it is that you want to know about. Maybe you want to know, hey, where's the best places to live based on our lifestyle? Hey, maybe you just want a good, solid plan to move to Costa Rica. What would you do in our shoes, knowing what you know now? And we sit down with you for over an hour and just really get you a good, solid plan so that you can relocate to Costa Rica. And that's just something that we do just to say thank you, for purchasing a ticket with us. And it just really supports our event. A lot of stuff goes into that, okay? So, hey, that's just our way of saying thank you. So anyway, I'm actually going to share a little bit with you on the things that I learned. Hey, the good, the bad, and the ugly about the last event that we just had. It's the third event that we've had together. It was the best event, but there was still some ugly things that I'm going to share, some bad things. And some extremely good things, some memorable things. And I want your feedback. Hey, put in the comments, if you attended or any of the events that we attended, put in there what was the most memorable thing for you. What were some of the bad things? What did you think we could have done to improve? Even if you haven't ever been, I want to hear your suggestions. What do you think you would like to learn if you were to go to one of these events, okay? Because I can tell you, not because I do this, if you know me, if you've watched my channel, when I build, when I do anything, no matter what it is, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And when I decided to begin promoting and put on this event, I knew the one thing that had to happen in order for it to be awesome. And I'll share some of that. So anyway, first, if you've never met me before, hey, I'm Alan, and Rebecca and I came to Costa Rica way back in November of 2013. And, we came down here with the intent on just exploring as much of Costa Rica as possible. And in that time, in 10 years, we have traveled and lived almost all over Costa Rica, living in 25 different locations, 25 different homes, different places. Some places so nice, we went there twice. But we didn't just stay a week here and a week there. Most of the time, we went and lived, 3 months at the minimum, a year, and we lived in lots of different places, but just kind of learning different areas. So I can say without a shadow of a doubt, there's nobody that can tell you all of the different perspectives or areas and things about Costa Rica like Rebecca and I. So that just tells you who we are. But let's get back to what we're learning today. 10 years ago, maybe one person or one place that was actually doing Costa Rican relocation events, well, I didn't even know about it, and I probably wouldn't have gone, because the majority of the time, and what I've heard, is that, you go to those events and it's a pitch fest. They're selling you this, they're selling you that. And I probably could have learned some things, but I didn't, and that's the mistake I made. I did it on my own. I didn't know I could attend those things, but I made the biggest mistake, and that is I didn't research it. Hey, Rebecca said one day, why don't we go to Costa Rica? And I'm like, why? 30 days later, well, we had 10 suitcases and a dog, and we were on a plane to Costa Rica, and we went to San Vito, the rawest part of Costa Rica you can be in, and I made a lot of mistakes. I'm a very trusting person. I'm the kind of guy that I'll give you the shirt off my back, and I'll help you. Well, I kind of just naively thought most people were like that. And the Ticos, being as friendly as they are, I didn't realize at the time the ulterior motive. And hey, I ended up giving this one Tico, $9,000 and got nothing out of it practically, okay? I gave this gringo $19,000, $20,000 and got nothing out of it. So I'm not saying, hey, Ticos are horrible. There are some really great Ticos, but there are some really horrible gringos. So I made the mistake of not doing any research. I didn't go to YouTube. I didn't Google. So I want to hear right in the comments whenever you're researching Costa Rica. Obviously, you're watching this video, so you're looking on YouTube. Do you also go to Google and maybe type in things there and look for articles and information? I'd like to know, what's the number one way that you search for information about Costa Rica? After I got here, well, I did search a little bit on YouTube. I didn't search a whole lot. Now I do a whole lot of research, but the reason I do a lot of research is I want to know what's out there. And I find a lot of misinformation. And that's simply because the majority of YouTubers that are talking about Costa Rica, they themselves have an ulterior motive. Let me tell you about Costa Rica, and then they're only telling you what they think you want to hear. And so by doing that, you will buy their product or service. You'll buy their ebook. You'll buy their course. You'll buy their service, okay? You'll buy real estate from them. And I hate that. Now, not all of them are bad. There are some people who, for example, Sarah Elena, who co-hosts this event with us, well, she started YouTube quite some time ago, and before I did. And she came here single, knew she wanted to be in Costa Rica, didn't know exactly how she was going to make it happen. She was determined to make it happen. And guess what? Now you might call it an overnight success story, because as she moved here and created her channel, well, then she started, people contacted, well, how did you do it? And, long story short, one person after another, how did you do this? How did you do that? And it turned into a very successful business where she helps a lot of people in how you actually move to Costa Rica. What are you actually looking for? Where would you, all those things. So she has a YouTube channel that started out just like mine. I don't sell anything, never have, never will, but I do promote these Costa Rica relocation retreats, okay? Because it's great information. Anyway, this video is not promoting that. It's really just, I want to give you the information about where you can learn about Costa Rica. So anyway, she does have a service that she does promote on her channel. There's nothing wrong with that. Michael Allen, super good guy. He's been here 18 years, okay? And so, but he moved to La Fortuna, stayed in a tourist area, and that's where he stayed. You could say he's the Bible of La Fortuna. He can tell you everything about it. It's been there a long time. He's got a lot of experience, and he has a tour business where, man, if you want a tour, I highly suggest using Michael Allen. Okay, so anyway, he's learned a lot. He's been here, and he shares a lot. So, that kind of ties it all together, that was the number one thing I knew I needed if I were going to do an event. And so whenever I did decide to do a relocation event, I said the only way I could do it is if I could have different perspectives, because what good is it for you if you only watch my channel, if you only hear from me? Well, I'm only sharing with you my perspective. Rebecca's only sharing with you her perspective. And yes, while we've traveled all over the place, what good is it if you only hear from Sarah Elena, who, well, she's awesome, but you know what? She's a beach girl. She loves the beaches. And if you're a beach person, you most definitely want to watch her channel, because she's a beach person, young, single mom, and, raising a child. She can tell you what it's like to have a child in Costa Rica. She can tell you what it's like to put her child in the Costa Rican schools. She can tell you all of that stuff. Is it safe? Is it not safe? Well, that's kind of like Rebecca. I can't tell you what it's like to be a mom or a woman, but you talk to Rebecca. At the last event, so many people were talking to her. And there was kind of this whole thing of, well, what's it like as an older female buying hair products, buying all kind of things that women buy that I don't need? I mean, I don't have a problem finding hair products. My hair is always great anyway. She can tell you those things. People asking her, well, when you go to town by yourself, do you feel safe? What areas did you not feel safe in? So you're getting those perspectives. When you talk to Michael Allen, he can tell you his perspective as a single guy, being a guy that used to do a lot of partying. So it's getting all of that perspective. And that's the number one thing that really, really, really makes this an awesome event. And then the three of us together, we handpick experts, the legal experts, the shipping experts, all of that stuff. These are people that we vetted, because the number one rule when we have experts speaking is you can't sell them anything. Nothing is for sale when you're at the event. We just want to give you the education so you now have the contacts so that you can be prepared for when you do need them. So anyway, back to the ways to learn. So for me, I made the mistakes of not doing the research, not learning from other people. And had I learned from other people, hey, if I'd have talked to Michael Allen, I could have learned from him, because just like me, he lost lots of money trusting the wrong people. And had I spoke to him prior to coming here, I would have known. I'd have been like, okay, my guard would have been up. I better be careful. I can't just trust everybody. And I probably could have saved over $30,000 because I just willingly trusted people, okay? So, you can learn the hard way, and that's not doing any research. Don't do that. Or you can learn from other people's mistakes. You can learn from their experience, okay? So, and I'm always learning. We've done 3 events now, and each time they get better and better, but the reason they get better and better is we're getting your feedback. I hear from you. And boy, did I learn some really great stuff. So I want to share the good, the bad, and the ugly about this event. So let me start off first with the good, okay? So some of the good things is that, hey, you're going to meet a lot of like-minded people. At this particular event, we had between 25, 30 people here, all like-minded people who want to come to Costa Rica, and you're talking with them. Man, you're finding out, well, what's your story? Why are you coming to Costa Rica? Why do you want to leave Europe? Why do you want to leave Canada? Why do you want to leave the United States? So you're talking to like-minded people, you're hearing their stories, and you're making connections. And that's one of the most powerful things. I saw people making lifelong relationships, connections, because they're coming and they want to continue to stay in touch. And so I got some recommendations that I'm going to talk about later. One that just blew my mind. I'm like, why didn't we think about this before? So anyway, you're creating memories of a lifetime because you're not just, in a learning environment where you're sitting in a boring classroom all day, which is not boring, by the way. We have so much fun. It should be illegal. It ought to be against the law. But, we're going out and we're touring and we're doing things together where every morning it starts off super early. You don't have to, but hey, Mike and I, we're in the restaurant getting coffee and we're sitting down, we're talking with people, and then we're all eating breakfast together around 7:30. And, we're all just sitting at the table. It's like this humongous family at the dinner table, and we do that for lunch and supper. And then in the evenings when we're out at the bar and we're just having drinks together and we're just celebrating, we're having shots and we're just enjoying a great time. This time I love to smoke a cigar once in a while, but we had this one guy there, just really super good guy. And so, we're smoking cigars together and we're talking about Costa Rica. And hey, he's asking, hey, I got a Harley. I had a Harley. Should he bring it? I'm like, well, if you come to Costa Rica, you don't want to make yourself a target. So we're just sitting there talking about all these different things. We're meeting tons of like-minded people, but that in itself can also be the ugly. I'll get there. Hey, let's talk about some of the bad things. Like anything, sometimes you can get cancellations, and we did have a kind of a last minute cancellation. My most favorite attorney, she had some personal things, family matters that just uncontrollable, had to take care of, couldn't make it. So I had to, at the last minute, find an attorney to replace her because it was on the agenda. I wanted them to know about wills and about residency and things like that. And this one guy, although I'm sure he meant well, he was a Tico attorney, and we had an attendee ask if I got a Costa Rican citizenship. The guy says, well, you can get a Costa Rican citizenship, but the United States doesn't allow dual citizenship. And of course, I never want to make anyone feel bad. And so, of course, I didn't correct him or interrupt him while he was talking. But in my mind, I'm like, I don't think that's right, because I'm actually in that process. I was talking to Christine, my attorney, about getting citizenship in Costa Rica. And that was the first thing I asked. Hey, can I get dual citizenship? So anyway, I called her up as soon as I got back and I said, hey, Christine, she called me actually, she wanted to find out, I'm sorry I couldn't make it. And did you find someone that can speak in my place? And, and all that. She wanted updates on it. She really goes out of her way to make sure everything is right on her part for her information. Well, anyway, I explained that this guy I did find someone, but he said you couldn't get dual citizenship. And I says, would you double check to make sure that we're right on that? And she said, well, sure. So she went and checked real quick, and she got right back to me. And she says, well, I thought I was right, but hey, I could make a mistake too. But yeah, you absolutely can have dual citizenship. So you can have citizenship in Costa Rica, and you can have a citizenship in the United States. Matter of fact, you can have way more than just dual citizenship. You can have 3 or 4 if you want to, okay? But we'll get into all that later, because that's really something important to know, the pros and cons of why would you even want to have that. But anyway, so the bad is sometimes we could give bad information, but anytime I do find bad information, I correct it. And I want to make sure you get the right information. I was talking about bad stuff, the venue where we're at, unbelievably great. Always on top of the game, always trying to make things better. And look, this is without a doubt a 5-star resort. And so the last 2 events, we always serve typical Costa Rican food. It's not, I say typical. We want you to know, what is it like when you're in Costa Rica? What kind of food are you going to eat? So, you get the rice and beans, what's typically served, the plantain, traditional. I shouldn't say typical. I should say traditional type food. But it's extremely good, very flavorful, which is not typical in Costa Rica. They don't normally cook their meals with the seasonings and salt. That's a whole nother story, but this restaurant, they got the best chef around, and man, he just really cooks good food. But this time the resort said, I want to step up the food, and they had this new chef. Man, that guy, and if you know chefs, creating stuff, it's kind of like an artwork, man. And so he created some really good stuff, but I'm talking about just the presentation alone would make your mouth water. And the food, wow. Well, one day he served octopus. Wow. The presentation, it was amazing. But you saw an octopus on your plate. And some people were like, oh, I can't eat that, And they just weren't even willing to try. Now, I'll try anything at least once, and it was very good, and the people that did eat it said it was really great. But in my opinion, one of the bad is that we upped it too high. For our relocation event, it's important that the food is more of the traditional type food that you would experience in Costa Rica, because the reason you're coming is to determine, do you want to live here? What is it like? And that's what we're trying to do. So, hey, that was one of the bad. Some people didn't like it. I thought it was great. Michael thought it was great. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. And, hey, rain events. This last one was during the rain season, and went to go do the waterfall rappelling and the zip lining, and unfortunately we couldn't do the waterfall rappelling because we scheduled it for the afternoon, and well, it started raining, and it rained so much it was too dangerous to do the waterfall rappelling. We were able to redo it early a couple of mornings later. However, what I did learn from that is, you know what, the next time during the rainy season we won't have those kinds of things in the afternoon. We'll have those tours and activities in the morning while the sun is shining and it's a beautiful day. And then we can do our, sessions, our lectures in the conference rooms in the evenings. So, that's something that we learned. But then let's talk a little bit about the ugly. As I said, one of the great things is you're meeting like-minded people, but what's the ugly? Well, you're meeting like-minded people. And a lot of times people want to talk politics. And, anytime you get to talking about politics, it can get ugly if you don't know how to tone things down or respect other people's choices or opinions. And I'm blaming this one on Michael Allen. Michael Allen can sometimes stir the pot. He's just having fun. And one person mentioned something, the other person was like, rah, 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 and the other person was like, So, it can get ugly, but the important takeaway is that, hey, you're meeting like-minded people, but hey, everybody's got their own opinions. So, hey, just learn how to respect other people's choices and opinions, right? It's great to be able to share. Great to be able to learn from one another, but it's even better if we can learn from one another while still respecting each other, right? So anyway, that was kind of some of the ugly things that can happen, right? And but hey, I want to share with you some of the feedback that we got on this one, and one that just really blew me away. A couple of events, the first two events, people said, hey, it'd be really great if we'd have workbooks. And that way, as you're speaking, as Sarah is speaking, as the attorney is speaking, then we can take notes. We can have their contact information. So this time we actually had workbooks prepared and ready for you. And so we're going to do that again. But we got more feedback. Hey, you can make it a little bit better with the workbooks if you had table of contents in there. So it'd be real quick for us to find that particular person. On page 20, Alan's talking about construction, that kind of thing. And, we had, we're trying to give you all of the speakers, and we actually had too many speakers. Can you believe that? And so we had a couple of night sessions, and we learned real quick that, hey, the attendees didn't want night sessions because, it's a lot of stuff, a lot of information, a lot of fun, and they just wanted more free time, more relaxed time so that we can just sit around the table, we can sit around the bar, we can talk with you, Alan, we could talk with Michael, we could talk with Rebecca, we could talk with Sarah, we can kind of pick your brains a little bit and have more, just some downtime just to relax more at the pool, hey, take a walk on the beach, those kind of things. And so, that's what we're going to do. But here's one of the biggest takeaways for me is that I came up with this great idea to start a Facebook group. No, not me. Actually, this guy by the name of Mike, he's into marketing, and he asked me a question, if we followed up with people and, how many people had come through our events that actually decided to come to Costa Rica. Because our main objective is not to sell you anything. Our main objective is not to talk you into coming to Costa Rica. Our main objective is to give you the information, the good, the bad, and the ugly, so that you can then have an informed decision. And I said, Mike, I says, because we're not trying to sell anything, I've never actually followed up with our past attendees. And he says, well, why don't you have a Facebook group for the alumni, only the people, the students that's been to the event, because so many people are making these connections and they want to stay connected. Wow, that just blew my mind. I mean, that was such a great idea. I wanted to take it. Sorry, Mike, but no, I can't take it. Mike, that was phenomenal. So, Mike, hey, I really appreciate you putting that out there for us, because I've actually got that Facebook page or that Facebook group already set up, and I should be sending out an email to all of the past students of the last 3 events, so that you can then join that Facebook group. There's absolutely no selling, no anything in there. No trolls will be in there, because it's only the alumni. And this way, it's like you can contact me and you can contact Michael and Sarah, and you can say, hey, I can't remember that attorney's name, but I can have a whole PDF in there that you can download. It has their contact information. You can contact those people if you're interested in their service that they weren't allowed to sell you while they were there. Okay, so that was really a phenomenal thing, and we have so much fun there. So I want to know from you. Give me a comment, because I want to share with you the most memorable thing that happened there. Or it was for me. But what was the most memorable thing for you? For a lot of people, it was getting the opportunity to zip line. For others, it was getting the opportunity to ride a horse on one of the most secluded beaches around, where there's not hundreds of people, not even tens of people, and just seeing some of the most beautiful sunsets on that beach. What was the most memorable thing? We had so much fun, because at this particular event, we had 3 parties. We always have the welcoming party, and where we have live music, and we always have a going away party, and we have music there, a DJ. But we had a Halloween party, and of course it was that time of the year. And so on Halloween, we encourage you to dress up. We had a few people that dressed up for Halloween, and we just had a whole lot of fun. And the most memorable thing for us, and of course, Michael Allen and I, we have a lot of fun back and forth together. It's never out of meanness. We have fun, and we kind of poke fun at each other. But the most memorable thing for me was we're sitting there at supper time, right? And at supper time, I get up to make an announcement, because I'm always making announcements and reminders to keep everybody on track. And so I get up to do my usual announcement, get my speech going on, and it's usually just a couple of minutes. But I was reminding people about the Halloween party right after supper. And look, you really need to dress up if you want to dress up. Let's just have fun. And at that moment, as always, I'm wearing my black T-shirt, and I decided to dress up as Michael Allen. So I took off these glasses. I put on glasses that look like Michael Allen's. I pull off my black shirt. Underneath, I've got my white T-shirt. I pick up. It's a big cup. It's a big cup of coffee today. Yep. I'm Michael Allen with TravelCostaRicaNow.com, and I got a good one for you today. We were all laughing, having a good time, and it only got better, because when I got done with my little impromptu of Michael Allen, everybody's staring at Michael. He gets up. He pulls off his white shirt, and underneath he's got a black T-shirt, pulls up his pants, and he tries to make me look like Pee Wee Herman. And he's cutting up. And look, the whole place just erupted into a roar of laughter. So I'm dressed up as Michael, and Michael's dressed up as me. And we just had, that's probably the most memorable event for me. So tell me, what was the most memorable event for you? The event is only getting better and better all the time, and mostly in part through your feedback. So please take a moment, comment, let me know what you think about the Costa Rica relocation information I've given you today. What could we do to make it better? If you haven't come and you've got some ideas on what you think you would like to learn? Well, put it down in the comments, okay? Give us your feedback. We had a phenomenal time. The most important thing is that you're going to get these valuable contacts that are worth way more than the price of admission. And you're going to make connections that will last for a lifetime. You're going to have so much fun. It should be illegal to have this much fun, but you're going to create a memory that you'll not forget. Worst case scenario, it's going to be the best vacation you've ever been on. I'll see you next time, and I'll give you more information about the Costa Rica Relocation Event in the description below. Click that link, find out more. Hit me up if you got any kind of questions. I'll see you next time.